not the Cup Series race that he was hoping for, didn't get to defend his title in that race, but here in Xfinity, a great battle with Kyle Larson to take the race win, his third of the season, all on tracks that turn left and right. Brandon, is this a good consolation prize, at least for SVG? And maybe even a little bit more than that, considering this is the series where he's competing for a championship.
Yeah, it makes you feel a lot better since it is the one that he is running for the title in. But man, it was such a gut punch to have a little incident yesterday with Chase Briscoe, and again to have Chicago in the rain. Like what do we got to do to have? I know there's no way to control the elements, but what do we have to do to get a Chicago street course race on Sunday as bright and sunny as it was Saturday? The Xfinity got the gold mine that they should have got last year, but thankfully, we got a full Xfinity race out at Chicago. That's more than we could say last year for Cole Custer's win after just a handful of laps in a monsoon last July. But yeah, Shane van Gisbergen winning the Xfinity race at Chicago. No surprise there, but man, it was a thrilling battle between him and Kyle Larson, the two juggernauts of the field, to get it done. And yeah, his last two wins at the last two road courses we've been to with Portland and Sonoma. So this is going to be his way into the playoffs. He's already there, but I mean, this is going to be his way to keep adding points. Definitely with the road courses. Think about the Roval down the line, and also Watkins Glen. Looking forward to seeing him there as well. But still gutted by the Cup race result, though, because he was going to win that race. I believe he was either going to win that one too and sweep the weekend, or they were going to have to punt him out of the way to do it because he's so good there at the Chicago Street Course.
Yeah, and ironically, I think it was part of his veteran experience. I say veteran experience, just speaking generally as a race car driver. Obviously, he's still learning the NASCAR stock car side of things, but he was good enough to win on debut last year still in last year's race. But I think that his experience as a veteran driver, kind of taking it easy, as everybody was figuring out the elements, maybe put him in that position where he was a little bit further back behind the cars ahead of him as everybody was tiptoeing around the elements, and Briscoe spinning out of control, obviously not intentionally taking him out, but just an unfortunate deal for him there to not get the chance to defend his Cup Series victory. An interesting stat, though, Alex Bowman, of course, went on to win that race. Bowman finished last in the 2023 race.
Yeah.
And then you have this role reversal this year where not only does last year's winner finish last in the second race, but last year's second place finisher, or last place finisher, rather, in the second year, he goes on to win the race. So you've got to get Brock on that. I think he was saying that that's the first time that that's ever happened, at least in the modern era, for a track's first two dates, where the same two guys won and finished last, but it was a role reversal from the first year to the second year. But as for Xfinity, though, again, as much as I'm, just try to remain consistent no matter who the driver is, Kyle Larson or Ty Gibbs, despite their difference in their Cup experience, not a huge fan of seeing either of them in this race here, but I can't deny they put on one heck of a show. If you were a fan going out to your first Xfinity race in the city of Chicago, having the race kind of be brought to you, so to speak, certainly you got your money's worth on Saturday. And it's something that I think, unfortunately, last year's fans that went on Saturday couldn't say because the race was cut so short here. So once again, you're running out of superlatives for SVG here in the Xfinity Series. It's almost unfair to have him in this field, I feel like. And I think he's certainly ready for Cup on road and street courses. The ovals are obviously a different story, and we'll see how far he can progress in the second half of the year. But a great battle nonetheless. And let's talk about Larson a little bit more as well. Obviously, he won the Coda race that SVG came up just short in on the track. Of course, he got that penalty that shoveled him much further back in the race results. But between that and the battle here on Saturday that led him to finish third, has Larson proven that he can match SVG's road course pace? He can go head to head with one of the best in the world on these road courses, on these types of tracks.
Yeah, I think he can get up there to him and make the passes like we saw there in stage one. By the way, stage one of the Xfinity race, that's one of my favorite. That's got to be one of my favorite sequence of laps in the Xfinity Series all year so far. That was just a thrill, an absolute thrill. It was just a great job. The two of the best drivers in the world in different categories. They're on the streets of Chicago in the busiest part of Chicago, not just like other street courses where it's out there in the the side area to keep away from the touristy area. This is right smack dab in the middle of Grant Park, and two of the best going at it, lead change after lead change after lead change. It was second to none. Larson is almost there, but I think once he gets in front of him, SVG just has the the experience and more of the raw talent of figuring out on a road course or a street course how he can outthink outmaneuver Kyle Larson a few corners ahead, and we saw that several times as they were battling back and forth with each other.